We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. When it was originally dedicated in 1924 and for 102 years thereafter, Memorial Stadium has been an enduring landmark intended to honor those from Illinois who served in World War I, and specifically the University of Illinois students, faculty, and staff who died in service to their country during that war. The names of 189 University of Illinois World War I students, faculty, and staff who were casualties of that war are engraved onto the columns that support, mark, and define the structure of the stadium. This was not done in a vacuum. At its October 1921 state convention, the Department of Illinois of the American Legion passed a resolution that stated, in part, the University of Illinois, through its athletic association, has expressed a willingness to dedicate the stadium as a memorial to all former men and women in service in the state of Illinois, provided that it is the wish and desire of the Department of Illinois of the American Legion. And then it went on to state, we, the members of the Department of Illinois of the American Legion in convention assembled, do request that the University of Illinois dedicate their proposed stadium as a memorial to the soldiers, sailors, and Marines of the state of Illinois who saw service in the late World War. Memorial Stadium came to be seen as a perpetual place of honor for the more than 5,000 who died in service during World War I, one of whom was Corporal Bert Whitehurst of Livingston County, Illinois, who died in France 3 days before the end of that war and is buried here in Springfield in Butler National Cemetery. He was my great uncle. In 2002, the stadium dedication was extended to those who died in World War II and honors the 948 alumni, students, faculty, and staff who were killed in our nation's wars and conflicts since 1918, and whose names are engraved on one of the limestone tablets at the east and west entrance to the colonnades. On September 18th, 2005, fast forward here, on September 18th, 2025, after accepting a $100 million gift from U of I alumnus Larry Geese, the renaming of Memorial Stadium was unanimously approved by the University Board of Trustees, meaning that Memorial Stadium would now be known as Geese Memorial Stadium. You'll find on your desks a picture of the west side of Memorial Stadium as it is today. I've taken exception with the board's action to rename the stadium because I believe that renaming it is inappropriate. I've had discussions with the university president, the chairman of the board of trustees, and the athletic director, and asked them to talk to the donor and ask him to consider a more appropriate means of honoring his gift while keeping faith with the original intent for which Memorial Stadium was constructed and named. The only response I ever received was that there was no appetite to do that. In response, I filed House Resolution 895, asking that this body join me in expressing the opinion that Memorial Stadium should be restored to its original name in order to fulfill the promise made at its dedication in 1924. However, after speaking with the university's athletic director, he called over here and asked that a brick be put on my resolution and it not be allowed to come to the floor for a vote. To this day, the resolution still sits in the Rules Committee. As a graduate of the University of Illinois, I think that action was beneath the dignity of the person who made the phone call and the state's flagship university, which has always expressed its commitment to robust discussion and open discourse. Memorial Stadium has always stood as a promise to those whose names are inscribed on its columns, which should be the only names permanently associated with the structure and should not be changed for the sake of sponsorship. Since it's obvious that you will not be able to express your opinion through a vote on my resolution, I'm asking you to join me and those who've already done so and sign on as a co-sponsor to Resolution 895, and thus keep faith with those who died. Thank you.